Okay. There we go. It looks like we have one person so far, so that's awesome. Okay. Gonna give another minute. Welcome to whoever is there. If they want to say hello in the chat would be awesome if they feel comfortable with that. So
Katie, can you hear me?
Much better. Much better.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Jennifer Miller. Hello, sister. And Broster. Broster. Welcome. Okay. Oh, showing two people now, so that's awesome.
Perfect.
Okay. So I guess with that, we will get going. All right. This is Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar Sessions. This is the Foundation Series, Mastery of Keylonta, Postures of Love and Steps Towards Joy. I've got it right now as Session 1, but I realized I need to call these episodes, not sessions. So I will be probably changing that for future.
Oh, we got a second person.
Yes. Oh, hey. K-Arden. Sure I'm saying it right. Happy day. You must know Lewis.
Happy days.
Happy days. Although it's a DHA, it's not D-A-Y. Welcome. Okay. So, welcome. Everyone who decided to take the plunge into understanding who we are as spiritual beings, living out the mechanics of manifestation of Keylonta. The primary resource used was the Postures of Love, Steps Towards Joy manual by Rose Tobin of the Kathara team by Azurite Press. This is an excellent summary of applying the freedom teachings in our daily life. I'm in no way affiliated with Azurite Press or Arrayas Productions. The link to download the PDF is on the harmonizingjourney.com website on the HDR Seminars page. And please put your questions and comments in the chat to share in the discussion as we go along. And of course, it's so very important if you like this content to please share it. If you haven't subscribed to Harmonizing Journey YouTube channel, please do. And you see, I have someone with me. So welcome to Lewis Oxley, fellow Greekkeeper and a wealth of KS knowledge. And did you want to just say hello and, I don't know, say something a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for inviting me, Katie. It's an absolute honour to be a part of this. So my name's Lewis. I'm 26 years old. I started KS in 2020. And I'm just really happy to be here. So.
Excuse me. Okay. And tonight we're going to be looking at the Law of One. It was when you get a hold of the manual, pages 6 through 8 in the manual or book, looking at the Law of One. For we are individuous, not divided, indivisible and separated, inseparable and equal, undivided, impartial. Got that out of the Wiktionary. The perspectives of interdependent, universal brotherhood and co-creative evolution practiced by advanced races who understand the interconnections between all life forms and reality systems. And that was out of Voyager's The Sleeping Abductee, Volume 1, Ashana Dean, page XXX. And this is more my personal take than necessarily what Aisha Lazarites would say, but to me, the purpose of the teachings of the Law of One were never intended to be a spiritual religion, how to be a better person, or even a spiritual being. While those may be benefits of the teachings, they are not the basis of the teachings. The basis of the teachings is no matter how far or how many rabbit holes of polarity, consciousness of free will choice, God serves first eternal, you, me, we, us, they, it, Aya, goes down, that we will always be able to integrate the experiences back into the core of our perpetually renewing eternal source self. It's like in-breath into the eternal, the amness, or whole, and we breathe out, becoming individuated eyes, but it's really kind of an I am. There's an interplay, and there's a mechanics, to a science to that in-breath and out-breath. And you can follow that science in case you get lost to come back into your eternal beautiful core. Do you want to add anything to that, Lewis?
Not particularly, no. You did a really good description there.
Oh, and I think somebody's added something here.
Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer Miller. You know what? It's an honor to put faces to the names. Been studying from Telegram for several years. Thank you kindly, Katie and Lewis, for all your hard work for the collective. Jennifer, you are very most welcome. Looks like I skipped to the next. Hopefully that's the correct one. Hopefully that's the correct page. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay. The divine identity, the Law of One, promotes unconditional love, co-nurturing, and healing of all races through the recognition that all manifest beings are faces of Source manifest. There is only one consciousness, Source God, and all things and beings are living, diversified expressions of that common identity. And that was out of page 6. So it's interesting, the wording, faces of Source manifest. That's key. Because when you look at just the oneness as a whole, it's an embodied consciousness that holds a lot of awarenesses that all harmonize together. But when those different harmonized eyes choose to manifest, then there's a certain form of individuation that occurs, but it's just a manifested expression. It's almost like you have, say, a mountain, this big, huge mountain, and different cliffs and levels of it have different offshoots of maybe different plants, or different shaped rocks, or just different things embedded into the mountain itself. They look individuated, they're outward expressions, but they're still the mountain, interfaced into the mountain.
Wow.
Did you want to add anything to this, Lewis?
You're doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job.
I'm seeing if there's anybody else that would like to add anything. And I have to remember, too, there's probably at least a 5 to 10 second delay. Okay. There's pretty much, for the most part, anybody in any modality that you get to, there always seems to be basically the good and the bad. Right? There's two paths. There's the path, but they talk here about it being the path of order versus the path of chaos. So the path of order, divine right order, and that to me almost goes back to when I was talking about the in the beginning about how no matter how far down the rabbit hole you go, you can always find your way back because there's an order and structure and mechanics to the mechanics of manifestation, of creation. There's also what I feel are moral laws. So we don't always quite know here what those moral laws are. We get told many times. I think there's man-made what they think is moral laws, but really true moral laws are laws about the mechanics and the science of the in-breath and out-breath of life in creation and how it works. And how there's actually behaviors and actions that you can do that actually line up to that science. And there's actions you can do that disalign, is that a word? Disalign you to the mechanics. That abide by the Chris code. So again, that's going deeper into the order of things, the mechanics, the science of perpetual renewal. Again, perpetual renewal, living in at-one-ment or atonement with all life everywhere, right? Because we're still that one really big mountain with little off-croppings of things that kind of stand out, that maybe manifest themselves outwardly, but that still came from within the mountain. The path of chaos, what could be considered the anti-Christic, because the Christic has to do with the Chris code, the in-breath and out-breath of renewal of life, of generation, of creation. But there's the anti-Christic, imposed will, objective, and the destiny of sorrow. I added, though, to that atheists, transhumanist, AI, phantom Earth I didn't. Phantom Earth is their term. Initiation science would be eighth sphere expression. You've missed the mark. You're imposing the will center is in the root chakra, basically. And that's our harmonic universe one base, survival of the fittest, or animalistic expression. Although the will center also is connected into the divine expression. But when it's a will that's immature, childish, only from harmonic universe one, from this realm here on Earth, it's shut off from all the other parts of self. there's tends to be a destiny of sadness, suffering, sorrow, hurt, pain, suffering, shut down, sleeping. That over a period of lifetimes builds up miasms, detritus in your cellular structure, in your crystal body structure of your light body anatomy, of your manifest expression in the outer realms. Eventually becomes distorted and shut down, and eventually will do what's called space dose return. It just doesn't function. There's no more in-breath and out-breath. There's no regeneration. It just, whatever energy mass it held when it shut down, it just uses that up until there's nothing else, unless it can feed on something. Transhumanism, or AI is completely not organic. It's not living. It's not in-breath, out-breath. It has to feed on other things. We've got some I've got some discussion here. Hold on, let me finish my thought. So at transhumanism, you've taken yourself off your ascension path and put yourself in a machine, and so you're dead basically at that point. Atheist to me is somebody who has shut themselves down from their eternal pillar, because you don't believe in source, you don't believe in a higher essence, you don't believe in a divine creator, so you're not going to turn within to that eternal beingness that you are. Over time, you're just going to shut down. Beings that shut down end up in what's called the phantom earth matrix, and not a good place to be. That would be the path of woes. Okay, so we've got here. Okay, that looks like a really good question to put up. All right. Does the spaces of consciousness of source includes solid man-made items, products such as buildings, plastics, etc.? That's a really good question. Nowhere can you be that source is not. Even if you may have shut yourself down and you may be bit by bit disintegrating, when I was talking about like the AI or beings in the eighth sphere, they're all still source. They're still within source. They're just not perpetually renewing anymore. So that would mean all elements, right?
Yeah.
Would be source, and those elements are used to create. Our bodies are made out of 3D earth material, right? Elements, emotional elemental body. The products that we make are made out of those elements. So yeah. And it's funny, some people, like with your car, doesn't it some people, or sometimes people feel like their car has a certain energy or life to it?
Yeah.
It can maybe be a lemon, or it works really well. It just sort of has this kind of energy to it. So yeah. Okay. The next one. All systems, structures, things, and beings are composed of. There you go, God. Source conscious. God's source consciousness. Very, very true. And then,
frequency.
Or is it our jobs to influence proper frequency within these things? Definitely. Particularly the elemental world. The elemental life, at least in this neck of the woods, is very responsive to our thoughts and feelings. And again, our bodies are made up of these elements. So we really need to be mindful of our thoughts, feelings, and actions because it really interplays with our hologram, basically. Want to add something there, Lewis?
I think something we could really add is just a reminder of what our divine mission actually is, why the Orpheum, the angelic human, was really created. And that was to literally be a healing race, because back on the planet Ontara, which is in density 2, you had all these different planets, all these different systems, and all these different beings within these planets that used to have disagreements and everything else. And because the Orpheum, at least, that was on those planets were 24-strand DNA compatibility, and what that really means is once you hit the 12th dimension, you really start to get and you really start to see everything. So you really become, you get to see yourself as all faces of God, and it's through that understanding we'll actually be able to do that job.
Yeah.
And even now, even after all of the distortion that we've went through, we still have that innate instinct to heal and to be of service. So definitely,
For sure.
Just look what we're doing with the failsafe host.
Yeah.
Even though the Earth is actually decided to choose that hosting, the more of us that are able to do these activations and syncing with EarthSync, the more the more amount of people that will be able to within the planet. So that's not just the humans, but there'll be trees, elements, everything. The more what is the word? Capacity, there we go. The more the capacity can really increase. So we are still doing our divine mission in that sense. Sorry, I went a bit off track there.
That was awesome. Thank you, Liz. And then we had another comment. Humans are the only beings on planet capable of biosynthesizing bioavailable luminaire for the rest of the planetary life field. So true. So true. I can't remember something in Steiner's work because he got into a lot of different initiation science, mechanics, and some different philosophers and teachers of his time. And he did some study with the Bible and different esoteric teachings. And one of the things he read about, he talked about is that somewhere in the creation, I think it had to be in the Bible, that man was responsible for naming the animals and creating them. And so that makes total sense. We are very responsible for all the creations on this planet. Not necessarily, maybe even still now, because, how our beliefs, our attitudes strengthen or weaken whatever has been created. If I'm making sense on that. And then we've got another person.
Nadia.
Welcome, Nadia. Okay. And then we've got... Jennifer. Okay, like lending a helping hand to the elemental kingdom. For sure. For sure.
We were the guardians of this planet. It's kind of crazy. And the reason the planet is kind of like this is kind of our own fault. In a lot of ways, we didn't do our job correctly in that sense.
Well, I think we had more of that capability in seeding 1. Maybe still a little bit in seeding 2. Seeding 3, we've been really kind of off in a lot of ways on the creation aspect and being stewards. Especially after Atlantis, we really fell on that responsibility. Probably were better in Lemuria times. But remember, we've been working because of how we were compromised when we came from Terra, right?
Yeah.
We've been building ourselves back up as well. And in that process, building back up the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Let's see. Chivalry is defending those who aren't even aware of the conflict. Definition I heard last night. Okay, chivalry, defending those who aren't even aware of the conflict. There you go.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Look at this one.
Infamous Chevron.
Chevron rescue. Yes. Yes. Excuse me. Okay. And I can't believe this hour is almost over with. No, we didn't start at the hour mark, thank God. I started at 8:30. My brain's like, oh my God, it's already been an hour. It's almost o'clock. Okay. Okay. And I thought I had this muted all the way. Okay. Why am I hearing this back? Okay. All right. The gift of free will, which is an aspect of this matrix and understanding the law of one. So, and again, it's kind of looking at what we were just talking about how we are stewards, creators of this planetary structure. And a lot of that is because we have been given the gift of free will. Our ideas, beliefs, and actions are the creative tools with which consciousness is endowed to employ the gift of free will choice as to which path of experience one will select to follow. Now it's page 6. Yes, beliefs are huge. I mean, probably of those three, probably the most important is our beliefs, or our attitudes, perspectives, really kind of give us our ideas and the actions we will ultimately follow. And I kind of like what Seth said, or not Seth, Abraham Hicks says, belief is just the thought you keep thinking. The more you keep thinking it and putting energy into it, it builds charge, and it becomes something pretty strong and solid. Like the sun will always rise. It may not always rise, but we really think it's always going to rise. They become transparent beliefs, basically. And those transparent beliefs become mini reality constructs that we live on this planet. The glitch in the matrix. That was something that I kind of actually got a number of years ago when I was first really kind of studying and working and figuring things out and taking more kind of grid keeping more to, not grid keeping, more I can't believe I'm spacing on it. Actually going out and working with the grids. Was that I had gotten that when I really went deep into the core and I really saw where things were really beautiful and the stillness and the peace, there was like, I could feel this like glitch. And the more I look into it, it's like this alternative out picturing when we, is the all that is, God's first eternal, imbued free will choice into into the mix, so to speak. We didn't know where things would go at that point. Because before that, when you're harmonized, right? When the all oneness is as is harmonized together, there's everything knows everything. There's just this, all the different bass tones and resonant tones and notes and low notes all work together, and they flow and they know each other, and they just work without thinking, right? They just go together. And that's when we're also getting to moral law before, is that you automatically just did what was divine order. You didn't have a choice. You just flowed together harmoniously. When Source itself said, this is kind of, would like to try something different, created a little bit of a glitch. And the outpicturing of the different choices of free will. And this harmonic universe, one that we live in, is really a playground, I think, a big playground for how free will is being really built up. Because we forgot, there were certain things, I think, and ultimately, I think because ultimately we're responsible as spirit of every bit of ourselves, created the glitches here to shut us down, to really build up what free will choice can be. And now we're introducing back in our spirit self with the intellectual, mental, 3D thinking, abstract thinking mind of choice. Do we have any comments? And did you want to add anything, Lewis?
Something I'd like to add is to always remember that we have two spirals. In any present reality, right? Any present moment, we've always got two spirals. And Ashana really goes into this during the Beyond the Veils workshop, where she really actually gives you an exercise where you can actually feel in any present moment, are you on the lower spiral or you're on the higher spiral? So it's just to really, I guess my point that I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to make sure that it's a positive outlook. Even if everything in our life is going really kind of bad, or we don't like where things is going, if we really just center into ourselves, we can really feel the difference between the higher and the lower spiral. And having this ability and learning this skill, we can really start to make better choices that will ultimately help picture into a much better heroic probability or possibility or
And Jen, let's see. Can we view this as gnosis of the law of one?
Gnosis.
Gnosis. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I think that's really good. Yes. Actually, that's perfect. Thank you, Jennifer. That's really good. That's really esoteric statement there. Cool. Okay. And I had to get a little Rudolf Steiner in here. So and again, he is where I get a lot of my esoteric Christianity initiation science information from. So now in and this is a quote, now in the human spirit working in earthly history, loosened from its tie with the divine spirit. And this is reiterating more of the free will choice and the value and importance of it. So now in the human spirit working in earthly history, loosened from its tie with the divine spirit, men have the possibility to realize within themselves free intelligence and free will. So the weaving of the world process in which man is interwoven moves on between the altogether calculable and the workings of free intelligence and free will. And that was number 26. a way of IDing it. The Michael mystery, heavenly history, mythological history, earthly history, the mysteries of Golgotha. So I think it must have been a big document. And then she's got, I don't know if she's wanting to correct something, but she added their law of one. Did you want to add anything to that? What I just said, Lewis?
No, I'm just trying to understand that whole statement.
What do you think of it so far?
I really need to look down that statement and really try to analyze it, because it's just kind of complete. I'm trying to think, what is it trying to say?
Steiner really got into depth about how what I was just saying earlier about how humanity started out, particularly during, at least according to esoteric or Christianity or initiation science, like Lemuria time and Atlantis time. There wasn't a big as much individuation as there is now. It was still more of a unity consciousness. And even the first post-Atlantean era, the Indian era, was still very collective thinking. So when you go to read the old myths and stories and try to understand them, you can't look at them like how you look now. You can't decipher it the same way. They thought and felt and lived completely differently. But as this post-Atlantean epoch has evolved through each era, the intellect has been developing more and more. The abstract ability to do abstract thinking has been developing more and more. The more the abstract brain and different in it, there's different parts of the brain that's evolved that wasn't there earlier, has actually disconnected one from that. I call it more, he calls it more atavistic. Atavistic. I always forget the last part. But more atavistic again is more that divine right stream of consciousness connected with divine order, spirit, and just directly just flowed right through us, and we just did as a collective through together that divine order of consciousness. The more we developed the intellect, we started to shut down that connection through. We could call it becoming distorted if we want to from a chaos perspective, but it developed. And I know she said in Voyagers, I can't remember what the page was, but she said this third seeding, we were more developing our intellect, ability to question, to think for ourselves, to make choices. In that choice, we then actually have the two paths. Before that, there was only the one path because we were always following the divine expression. As we developed the individuation choices of going the divine order or the order of or the path of chaos because of choice. Do we have any new? Nope. See any new comments? So is that helping of why he's saying what he said?
Yeah. When I was kind of reading it, I was kind of getting, because I know years ago I listened about this different concept, and the concept was, so we have cycles of 26,000 years, and a part of that we keep going up on a conscious level till we hit to a top point, but then we slowly keep going down, and then we go so it's going.
Yeah. Well, actually, we've been going down, and now we're at the point where we're actually starting to go back up.
Yeah.
we're just starting to go back up. So we densified, right?
Yeah.
And now we're ascending back up. Okay, and I just want to take a quick little break here from the discussion and just talk about what I do. So Harmonizing Journey to Realignment private sessions. Harmonizing Journey to Realignment utilizes Keylonta and Tantriahura mechanics. Both sciences are the original organic first creation mechanics. The mechanics works with the organic light body and plasma spirit body structure to bring you back to your organic first creation mechanics of the eternal domain of the all that is. This technology realigns the artificial finite second creation Fibonacci 2 Taurus net earth program with its natural, perpetually renewing organic ascension new earth expression. You first do the HDR introductory session, and then you are on your way to exploring who you are as the all that is, God Source First Eternal, Aya, Uni, We, Us, They, It, at your own pace. And currently we have a 10% discount on the introductory session until December 31st, 2025. And it's already, when you go to purchase, the discount's already in checkout. Do you want to add anything to that, Lewis?
Just from my own experience, from what I really understand about this work and from my own journey, there's really 3 levels of this work. So your level 1 is if you're New Age, you go into level 2, which is your KS, and KD is the next level above that. I've been in New Age for around 10 years, in KS for around 5 years. And honestly, I've known Katie for around 2-3 years. And working with Katie, all I can tell you is my expansion has never been so fast. And I think she's really gifted. And I want her to have the most success because without Katie, I wouldn't be where I am in terms of my own expansion and my own healing. So, and I'd love to see you guys on the Grid Keepers group.
Yes. Yes. We get into a lot of things lots more deeply than we're going to be doing here. Yeah.
It really is turning into a beautiful family of consciousness. It really is.
Okay, the pod space. We start out working in the Ureta crystal caverns, clearing programs keeping you stuck. Then you can connect with the Rainbow Pillar Bridge to the Ureta zone to perform soul retrieval work. Next, you make your way into Urea Earth to set up your temple pod space. From there, you are connecting to even deeper aspects of your multidimensionality to explore. The introductory sessions take about 2 hours. HDR sessions can then range after that, doing follow-up sessions, can then range from an hour to 2 hours, depending upon what you need. But we can work within an hour. Okay. And our HDR, Lewis was just talking about the HDR Grid Keepers Community Membership Program. And it doesn't take long to get caught up if you're a newbie, if you're completely new to this work. It doesn't take long to get caught up with the group. And the thing that I get frustrated with doing the group doing the group online things is I always have to do the introductory session because it's always new people and they're coming in new and we're just sort of stuck at a particular level. But coming into the Grid Keepers group, get yourself up to speed. We can really get in and do some really intense work, really fun, really having fun with the mechanics. So for those who are either new to HDR or advanced HDR clients, this community offers a small, private, safe, and supportive environment where you can study and apply the Keylonta and Tantriahura mechanics of manifestation to create your own personal, planetary, morphogenic field template, which is I didn't have it in the notes, but that's a really big part of the Law of One, is that personal planetary motion field template. It's the I and the am together. It's how we have our individuation through our root chakra into the core. We then manifest together, but it's still our lone harmonics, yet still everybody knows what a tree looks like, but each person's tree is they have their own unique perspective of their tree, but it's still a tree because it's in the core of Earth together. And the biofeed interface system that they talk about is business mechanics. We meet twice a month for group journeys and once a month for group discussions. This is a $250 value for only $10 a month or $112 a year. Also includes a 30% discount on a 2-hour private HDR session for members. And hope to see you soon. Did you want to add any more, Louis?
You won't regret it. You really won't regret it. Come join us.
And I think we have another. Yeah. Well, $10 is not too bad when you think about it. Not too bad, Jennifer.
I don't know if Jennifer's on Telegram or what she's kind of studying, but I do.
I thought she said she was Telegram, unless I'm getting it mixed up with the other person. Okay. And then I have my book series, which I am working on the third book. But anyway, Waking in Alania. While this story appears to be a typical science fiction tale, it is actually a piece of Earth's ancient hidden history. Much of the past I had remembered through my affiliation with the freedom teachings of Keylonta Science. The rest was through the characters' lives in the story shared through me. Kara, Eshwa, Ganado, Prince Kaldor, Queen Asana, and even General Damien all have a place in my heart. I was glad I could get their story down on paper. These books were a long time in the making and still are, because I'm still working on my third one. I started them in 2006 while I was living in New Mexico. A friend, Black Unicorn, felt that I should be a storyteller of Keylonta Science, the study of light, sound, the base codes of matter, multidimensionality, and creation mechanics. As we all know, it's quite a mouthful, is it not? Well, needless to say, it has been challenging for most people to grasp the technical information involved. I hope that these books gives one the heart and meaning of Keylonta Science, which is how to live by the Law of One, or the oneness, that I refer to so intensely in these books. In fact, it is a prime example of how all species can live a whole and complete life. Did you want to, because I think you've read both the books, I think.
I've read the first one. I bought the second. My goodness, these books.
Mm-hmm.
All I can really tell you from my own experiences, these books are very, very activating. They unlock so much cellular memory based on Tara. That is all I'm going to tell you, because everyone's experience is really different, but
Yeah.
if it's anything like mine, you will really get your value for money. We could even just do a book club series, just on Grid Keepers or something. That's something else we could actually do.
There's so many different things we can do.
There is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Back to the topic. What is preferred by God Source First Eternal? Aya, Aya. The guardians allow, but do not endorse, ideas, beliefs, and actions through which the path of chaos, the antichristic imposed will objective, and the destiny of sorrow are experientially attained. The path of chaos is allowed in respect for the gift of free will choice, without which the divine objective of the destiny of joy cannot be attained. That's at page 6. And I know that's what is in the literature that it says, and I think that's pretty true. But I kind of have this funny feeling that Source itself has fun with the dark side. It would have to. Because nowhere are you not with Source, which means your Source is everything, everywhere, including the darkness, including the most nasty. And I think Source just has fun with it and just likes to be bad sometimes. But ultimately, I think there is more of the allowed, because if Source allowed itself to go too far down that path, it would become something, it would destroy the order. It would destroy the in-breath, out-breath, the creation aspect of it. So I think it has its checks and balances that keeps it from going too far down. Kind of like doesn't allow itself to drink too much. So anyway. Okay. Oh, okay. Following external authority. So as long as we look to only, let me make sure we didn't get another. No, okay. As long as we look to only external authorities for answers, we will never find the greater truths regarding ourselves and our universe that are alive and awaiting our discovery within our personal inner Christos identity. And that was page 7. Blind worship teaches us to insult, disrespect, and deny the part of God that is manifest as the self, and encourages us to entertain the anti-Christic elitist notion that any being is more worthy of love and acceptance than any other in the eyes of God. Page 7. Because when you're looking outside yourself, you've just bypassed yourself. And yourself is it, capital I, capital T. That still voice within, that going within and listening and trusting. Yeah. And giving power over to the government, the bureaucracy, the system. It just may seem like the best thing, because you don't want to take, sometimes people don't want to take, not you, not you guys, but in general, a lot of people don't want to take self-responsibility. They want to give it over. And when you do that, again, you're bypassing yourself. You're not listening to yourself. You're not trusting yourself. And it can take you down. That's when you get the miasma built up eventually. Because that never works. You're going to want to add anything to that first?
With my own experience, the only thing that really, truly matters is your own connection and relationship to God's source. Because as long as you have that trust, as long as you have that belief and that inner knowing, that indelible knowing that you are connected, you can't go wrong. Everything will work out. And that's where the greatest lessons are learned. Because at the end of the day, if we look at things like Phantom Matrix and things, the reason why they allowed it in the first place was because they wanted to know. They wanted to know where they went wrong. And that's kind of why we're in the situation that why we are in the situation that we're in.
Yep.
And ultimately why the failsafe. So everything had to happen the way it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the eternally positive context of existence comes in. So
Exactly. I am source and I am one with source. Aya. It's like we're pieces of God that forgot who we were, and with the forgetting, we forgot how to do it. So yeah, that doesn't mean that you are God and you got to boss other people around, because they're God too. If we can understand the oneness of creation, we can begin to understand the core creation motive. And really understanding what love's about, and how everything around us is just something divine and something to honor and appreciate, and to support and listen to, and know that you're that too, so you're of value to be listened to. Yeah. I'm going to try to move this a little bit. And to always remember the mechanics of manifestation, the primal building blocks of morphogenic templates, um, the party and how those particles build up to grids, and the fabric of creation of the morphogenic fields, and again that biofeed interface system of our lone harmonic, but also the connection into the whole planetary structure. And again, what I was saying earlier, never will you be that source is not. God doesn't create outside of itself, it creates within itself. So we live in God. Our world, and God, loose term God's not really my favorite word to use because it's been so dirtied up and butchered, but anyway, our world lives in a huge morphogenic field of awareness. We sometimes call God. Our universe lives in God. God's really big, but the funny thing is God doesn't take up any space at all. It's all a hologram. Page 8. So yeah, of the manifest expression of God is the hologram, because that's what we're experiencing in this time-space reality. It's the hologram. It's the holographic experience, which looks like it's all these different nuances, but it's all within our internal pillar of our being, within that amness consciousness.
everything is a reflection of you. So any distortions that you hold comes back at you like a scary monster.
Oh man, does it ever. Every demon, every bad guy, every wonderful thing, every perfect thing is all coming from that, within that eternal expression of the amness that you are, coming, reflecting out in front of you. But it all is first within here, all expressed in here, and then reflected out in the holographic reality program, just like a hologram all around you. And of course, the many names of the One. So, being many facets of the One, there are unique expressions of the One: God, Allah, Yahweh, Elohim, and on and on. We even like to break it down further into our original Oversoul clan family, our Archangel family lines, where we built up our unique expressions as it. We never have we even have honored the Keylon coded elements of creation, Kali being an example. Okay. So, anybody want to add their thought now on what they want to add to what they think the law of one is? Or how do you see it expressed in your day-to-day life? If you kind of take any of these questions, what are your thoughts on being a facet of the whole and the whole of God Source First Eternal IA? Although I think you guys kind of did that earlier. How does being a facet play out, and what ideas do you have to play it out in the future? I kind of feel like a lot of that might have been answered, but if anybody wants to add any more to those, any of those ideas, want to add anything to that, Lewis? Any of those questions?
I'll probably say the law of one. And it's quite interesting because when I came into KS, I was very much into the science of it. How we come out of the Unipsi through the God seed within the Unipsi matrix, then we go down into the three primal sound and into dimensions 13, 14, and 15. And
Lewis, your voice is getting a little teeny again.
Oh, 1 second. There we go. Better?
Okay, better.
Perfect. So when I originally came into KS, I was really fascinated about the science of it all. How we come out from the Unipsi, and then we go down. Then from the Unipsi comes the God seed, which is stationed with the Unipsi matrix. Then we go down into the three primal sound, into primal light fields, etc., etc., etc. I really understood all that, and to some extent I could understand that, yeah, we're all one to some extent, but it was only when I really started to understand the backflow return that I really started to understand my connection, my real tangible connection to the planet and to Source itself. Oh God, I was going to say quite a lot of different things, but it's just kind of gone completely out of my mind.
It's okay. Jennifer adds all parts of the whole, love all parts of self. Exactly. Okay. And we are at the end, and we're running a few minutes over, but not too bad. So, of course, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please share to anyone you think would be interested in this content. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you do. I'm not monetized by YouTube, so donations are greatly appreciated. The donation link will be in the description. I will also, after this is done, add the links for purchasing private sessions, the Great Keepers community, the link for purchasing the Waking in Alania, and I think that's it. If anybody else want to say anything before we conclude, and I thank you guys so much. This was fun. Thank you guys for participating. Made a really big difference. Wonderful, Jennifer. Yes. I hope I will. Yeah, I will be. Oh, wait a minute. I think I had actually. I thought I was done, but not. No, maybe I am done. I thought I had added. Maybe I did that on a different video, different thing. Oh, I think I did do it. Okay, so next week on Friday at 7 p.m. EST, New York time, we'll be doing the introduction to Keylonta Session, or episode 2, and then in December.
What day is the treat? It was something like the 8th or something, wasn't it? It was
Fourth,
I booked
the
it
fourth
off.
and the 4th and the 8th.
There we go.
Let's see. God, Katie, you can do this. I know you can. Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, so on the 4th, Thursday the 4th, December, will be I think that's going to be Mastery of Keylonta episode 2, and then Introduction to Keylonta episode 3 will be on the 8th, Monday at 7 p.m. I know it's odd, but what I like to do is I use the tarot cards and feel out the energies. And with it being December and just all the energy that's going on right now, those were kind of the days that came out that wasn't too bad. And I don't want to go too far in the month because we're hitting Christmas. So, okay. Well, thank you again. Love you guys. And see you hopefully next week, Friday,
See you soon.
7 p.m.